Hello, hello, hello. It's Pastor Pierre Laguerre here, and I've got a very important message to share with you today. And in this episode, I want you to not possibly, go ahead, get pen and paper, and get ready because I have four key things I want to share with you. By the way, if it's your first time watching one of these episodes, please go ahead and like it, share it, and of course, comment. So here's the key. Why are so many not willing to pay the price? See, I've got my notes here in front of me. I just wrote them out, and I've got these four key reasons why many are not willing to pay the price. This week, we've been talking about your gift. And literally, we know that your gift will make room for you, right? But what most people forget is that this gift was given to you in seed form. It was very small. And it's going to be your responsibility to develop the gift in you. So, number one, since you must develop the gift to full expression, why is it that many people think that you can just do this in a microwave? You see, the reason many are not willing to pay the price, and I don't want to run ahead of myself here, I want to give you four key reasons. The first one, here it is. Few people are willing to be consistent. See, faithfulness is required because when you're talking about consistency, remember the proverb, he that is faithful in the least will be faithful in the much. And this is important because many can't be consistent because they don't have a vision of what the gift will look like once it's fully developed. And once you develop your gift, what comes off of it is going to bless so many more people than you are doing right now. So let's go with number two. And before I go ahead, are you one of those that is jumping from stuff to stuff? You know, today you're doing one thing, tomorrow you're doing another thing. You've got to be faithful in the one thing. You've got to choose one thing and be faithful at it. And that's how, ultimately, as you've paid the price in that one thing, you're going to develop the skills necessary. And the gift is absolutely going to express itself from you. Now, it's funny because I know I'm going to take a little more time here than usual because this is so important for you to listen to. So here's number two. Many want to shortcut the process and take a helicopter across the desert instead of going through the journey in the wilderness. And this one is important because the reason we want to take a helicopter and literally bypass the process, skip the journey, is because we see so many others at the end of the process, many that have come through the process. And we think, well, I want to be at the end of the process already. Come on. Let me go ahead and put on an air that, let me fake it till I make it. And the problem with that, my friend, is that eventually you're going to hit a wall. And that wall is called lack of development. You see, if you don't develop the gift, you don't hone the skills necessary, you will be put before kings before your time. And what's going to happen is that you're going to spit out things and spew out things you're not supposed to. You're going to say things you're not supposed to. And eventually it's going to land you in a solitary confinement because you went ahead of your time. Understand what I'm saying here? Here's the key thing to overcome this. It's really about the grace that's been given us. And I'm still on number two. So if you don't want to shortcut the process, you're going to have to rely on the grace that empowers you to walk out your salvation with fear and trembling. The process is for you. The process is to develop you and to give you wisdom. The experience that you come out with is what matures you to where you can now share wisdom with others. So problem here is most people don't want grace. Oh yeah, they think of grace as unmerited favor, but let's be real. Grace is the power that allows you to do what is required of you. So you have to embrace grace so that you can walk out the process. Because it's not going to be pretty by any means necessary. And that's why so many times we jump from one thing to the next, forgetting that there is a gift that is yearning to come out. There is a gift in us, and we're trying in every which way to bring out the gift. But once you focus, you're going to ultimately find the right path. So what's number three I've talked about two so far. Few are willing to be consistent, and many want to shortcut the process. So the third one is many cannot stand obscurity. This is a tough one. See, I'm sitting here and I've got light in front of me and light behind me, so that at least when you see me on the screen, it's pleasant to the eyes. But here's the key thing. Many of us cannot stand obscurity and understand obscurity is only for a season. You see, when you put the seed in the ground, it must die. Die to what? Die to everything it envies. Die to everything it sees. Die to everything it thinks is where it's supposed to be or who it's supposed to be. And this is specifically about you. You're trying to be somebody that you're not, or at least not yet. You have to learn to walk and become that person. No fake it till you make it. You're going to have to grow and become that person. And that maturity is coming as long as you're willing to go through the process and the experience is laid out for you. So here's the thing here that I want to share with you. The dawn will eventually come. You see, obscurity is only for a season. Eventually the dawn comes and light comes. But here's the problem. Many of us who want to shortcut the process, and many of us who cannot stand obscurity, we come to a place where ultimately, when we come out of obscurity into the light, everything that happened in obscurity is now being revealed. Let me explain, and the next point will touch on this very heavily. You see, what it is, the reason many cannot stand obscurity, they're seeing so many stars that are standing out there. And these stars are literally blocking their view, or so they think. But really these stars, these people that have actually paid the price and have gotten to a point where they're having influence and impact, they paid the price. And here's and a quick aside for you. Do not envy them, because you don't know what they had to go through. You don't know what price they paid to get to where they are today. And you still don't know what price they are currently paying. And that's a tough one, because you just think their life is rosy and everything is hunky-dory. No, they have problems like everybody else. And they still have to be willing to pay the price so that they can keep growing and maturing. Now, here's the key question. My wife and I, we watched Gloria Estefan's story. What is it? On Your Feet. So there is an understudy that actually played the part that day. We didn't know she was the understudy until we read the pamphlet, and we're like, oh, on the playbill it says she's the understudy tonight, not the regular girl that plays Gloria Estefan. Now, if you're that understudy and you are in a successful show like that, how long are you willing to stay until you become the main character? Until you can actually be the one that plays the main character night in and night out? I'm guessing as long as it takes, right? Well, this is the key thing. Understand, the person that's playing the main character right now may one day decide they quit, they're done, they're going for another role. So the point is, you have to develop your gift until it truly makes room for you. You cannot push your way through. And now I'm taking a little bit of your time, so bear with me here, because I have a fourth one for you. So you cannot be starstruck, and you cannot despise obscurity. Joseph had to go to prison, and he had to be in obscurity for so many years before anybody even knew he had a gift. Yeah, the baker might have known of his gift, right? And the cupbearer knew of his gift, but they never revealed it to Pharaoh. Joseph had to come out of obscurity in due time. You see, there's going to be a time when your gift is required, and people are going to come looking for you. So here's the last part. The fourth one. The reason many are not willing to pay the price is because, drum roll, it requires strict training. You see, running your race requires that you are in constant training. It requires that you are renewing your mind constantly, doing personal development constantly, not staying on your laurels and just waiting for things to happen, but making things happen. And this is important for you because you may be sitting out there and thinking, I'm waiting for my boat to come in. I'm waiting for my ship to come in. enough already. You better go out there and get your ship. And first, get your ship together before you wait for your ship. Because your ship ain't coming if you don't get your ship together and build it so that you can actually put it in water and move forward with it. And I know this is challenging somebody out there. And if I'm talking to you, so be it, because I'm talking to myself as well. You've got to be willing to take on the strict training required. You see, there's training required, and the reason training is required is because somebody's coming to choose those that have actually trained. Those who trained in obscurity, their training will be revealed in the light. So many are not willing to pay the price because they're not willing to put themselves through strict training. I've watched my wife do 75 days straight of running and exercising. And I'm like, wow, more power to her. She is one who understands the power of consistency. And that is huge. And that's absolutely influenced me. That's inspired me, more importantly, to see what she's done. And what I'm telling you today is you're going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to be willing to bear your own cross. You will have to bear your cross if you are willing to get to the side where your gift is finally making room for you. So friend, let me know. If you're the type of person that you've found every excuse in the book, then you're not going to get to the place where your gift will be dominating the landscape. Instead, you'll be put under a bed. And all I mean by that is the parable that Jesus shared. You see, as a lamp, you cannot be put under a bed. A lamp must shine up high in a room so that it can give light. The light shining on my face right now is up high. It's up in front of me. You see, if it was under the table, it wouldn't do its job effectively. And you have a gift in you that you've been hiding. You've been dismissing its value. And it's about time you start turning things around. So today, I'm glad I'm spending a little more time on these daily principles, and I will take this one and actually send it out there to more people because it is important that we pay the price. Success requires that you pay the price in full. There's no shortcuts on the way to developing your gift from seed form until it's truly making room for you and ultimately influencing and impacting a generation to come. Again, it's Pastor Pierre Laguerre. I hope this has challenged, motivated, and inspired you today. I look forward to your feedback. Please feel free to continue the dialogue and let me know if these are resonating with you. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.